everybody in a big bag. I've been on the road like Alabama. Ran a tag, ran that money up, that money count. Don't watch me, better watch TV. I don't be on camera.
What's going on, gentlemen? Welcome back to the Ryder Kerr Golf Show. Had some uploading issues last week. Video didn't quite make it out. Another one of the lost tapes out there. But not much to talk about because Scotty Scheffler just continued his dominance. 4th win in 5 starts. The man is on a different planet at the moment. Only other person that knows what that's like is Tiger. And, you know, we've been talking about this for a long time. I've been saying this since the start of the season, really since he won the Arnold Palmer, and the fact, like, when this guy wins, he wins in bunches. We've talked about how we're all being blessed with being able to watch, you know, potentially one of the best players that we'll ever get to see play the game. And the conversation of the Grand Slam in the same season is becoming more and more relevant as we speak. What do we think from the week? And we're not going to get to see Scotty's name at the top of the leaderboard this week, but it'll definitely be back up there.
I mean, to add on to what you said, the kind of shoo-in for the Grand Slam, I think if you're a betting man, you're not taking Scotty Scheffler at the PGA, then you got some screws loose up there, just because the golf he's playing in these high-pressure events, elevated events. I think best tweet of the week I saw after he won the RBC was old Trent Ryan at Foreplay. He said I think it was like, if your golf tournament's giving out a piece of clothing, and you better watch the fuck out for Scotty Scheffler, because he's won the Arnold Palmer where he gets the red sweater, the little cardigan, and then won the Masters, green jacket, obviously, and then got another plaid jacket this past week at the RBC Heritage. So, guy's on a tear. We'll see what happens. I mean, all the best for him with having his first child and stuff, bringing a kid into the world, but we'll see what happens. He just played lights out this week. It was kind of a weird finish, them having to come back out and finish on Monday, but I think just with the golf he's playing, nothing really phases him right now.
Unbelievable week. I mean, another $3.6 million paycheck, direct deposit, cha-ching.
Another $300K for Ted Scott, $1.5 million earnings on the year.
Go ahead, throw him down for another $130K, I guess, call it.
300, try.
Or 300, yeah. However generous he's feeling, I guess, at this point. He's probably just like, all right, I'll get you for like 500 on the next paycheck.
Yeah, I think I saw something that I think Ted Scott, they had his, like, this is his estimated breakdown of what he's earned so far this year. I think Scotty's already at like 18 million and some change in earnings. And so Ted Scott, he's at like 1.76, 1.78 million in the bank account already. And we're not even to summer golf. So this summer stretch in FedEx is just going to be padding the bank account for Ted Scott. But touching on the tournament, it was kind of good to see some guys that played well at the Masters kind of come into this week and kind of carry on some good golf. A guy like Ludwig Aberg, I think he finished like T8. He was 14 under. It's hard when you've got
as well.
Yeah, it's hard when you've got Scotty up there to kind of feel like you got to chase the guy when he's just playing such consistent golf. But seeing those guys kind of come out and, like I said, continue to play good golf, following up Augusta, it was a fun week to watch. I always like seeing the opening cannon blast, how they start the tournament. They get the past tournament winner out there, and they had Matty Fitz out there this year doing the little tournament blast and drive into the ocean or drive into the bay there. So that's always a little fun tradition for the Harbor Town event.
Justin Thomas with a little backdoor T5 this week as well. I'm looking at the payout.
That's final round 6 under.
Yeah,
that's crucial.
Another 700 FedEx Cup points for active Scotty Scheffler, though. That's what's crazy. This FedEx Cup race might be over halfway through the season. I think after the PGA Championship, I don't know if we'll see him at minus odds to start the tournament. I think that'll be a little outrageous. I think it'll take him winning this one, and then we'll see minus odds. I think, we can comfortably actually say that now. Like, dude's gonna be minus odds to win a major. Like, what?
Him being like 4-1 going into the Masters, that was already kind of crazy. But I don't think you're far off if he keeps up playing like he's playing now. We're not far off from seeing him be just
You said
opposite side of the table.
the nerves in the majors, man. He's got it under control.
So I guess what the entire field is hoping for is that Scotty gets the child curse. Like once you have a kid, once you get married, everybody always says that. Once you have a kid and get married,
we're gonna find out.
You kind of fall out. It's happened to Jordan, happened to Ricky.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, Jordan had a decent week this week. He bounced back after his little long rest after the early ending to his 2024 Masters. But I was glad to see him go out there play some good golf. But another crazy stat I saw from this week, I think there's like a further gap between Scotty Scheffler at 1 and Rory at 2 in the FedEx Cup standings right now than there is from like Rory at 2 to Tiger Woods at like wherever he's at in the standings.
700 something.
Yeah, like 750 or 760, something like that. Which is just
that's kind of ridiculous.
It's a wild stat because, like, I know a lot of people have said it already, but all the stats that you're looking at and kind of bringing up of like, oh, this is the last guy to win this back to back, or it's the last guy to have this many wins at this point in the season. You're comparing all of Scotty's accomplishments and accolades back to Tiger Woods when he was in his prime. So it's hard not to make that comparison.
The crazy thing is to see, a lot of what we've been seeing this week, especially on Zyra Golf, but how much Tiger made in 2000 when he did all that compared to what he would have made if it was current. But Scotty's doing it current. So, like, those numbers that we saw that are like, holy shit, like, that's crazy.
Hey,
from Tiger, like, Scotty's got a chance to go ahead and put those numbers up, and he's already well on his way.
If those numbers are accurate, Scotty's got a pretty high bar to catch up to. Tiger set a pretty high bar there, and I think it was like 92 million, 93 million.
It was 92.
To what his earnings would be today if he was getting the payouts of today's tournament. Just insane numbers. But like we said, if Scotty plays that good of golf, he's playing that good of golf right now, this early in the season, moving into the summer, moving into the second major of the year, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, it's hard not to see him go up there and just keep breaking records, especially for earnings.
And there's no reason why we won't. I mean, if you look at the guy's ball striking with his iron stats throughout the past 5 years, they've never slept. He's never been outside a certain threshold. That's again another ridiculous stat with his ball striking his entire career on tour. So I mean, they always say drive for show, putt for dough, but we're really thinking, hit your irons for dough because you just hit it so close to the hole, you make a bunch.
Now it's more so if he putts it well, he wins. If he's not putting well,
right,
he's still there.
He still wins, right? If he's putting well, he's got a 5-shot lead going into Sunday.
And that's the thing. You can keep saying all these things about Scotty, but another thing. Out of the past 5 weeks, he's got 4 wins and then a T2, T second. Yeah. So even if if he just gets the putter rolling, if he just keeps it on the face of the earth, gets his line going, he's going to finish up there. We talked about this early in this kind of season about he just needs to get the putter rolling, and it looks like that change to that Spider X kind of made it happen for him.
Yeah. Dude, if Scotty Scheffler wasn't in the field, what a playoff we would have had. I mean, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people tied for second place at 15 under, in the likes of, yet again, Wyndham Clark. 3 out of the last 5 events, he's gotten runner-up to Scotty Scheffler. Yeah. So hit the gala. He's been continuing his good play. JT Poston gets up there.
Patrick
Chris Kirk. Morikawa. A lot of big names. And, JT getting T8 with 14 under, one back off those second place guys. Good to see him playing well again. Hopefully, God, I don't know what we're going to have to do with JT and Spieth at this point. 'Cause it's we kind of see him play well in these elevated events or bigger purses, but the majors come around and they just kind of sink back into that the slump form that they've kind of been in over the past couple of years. But Valhalla should be a good test here at PGA next month. Definitely love major season. We got one a month until we hit August.
Love that.
So it's going to be fun. This week's going to be a fun one, too. A lot of the players' favorite stops on tour. The one and only team stop on tour. We got the first and third rounds as alternate shot, and the second and fourth round as a 2-man best ball format. A lot of cool storylines, a lot of big names in the field. Our favorite this week, 2 of the top 5 players in the field Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay. Patrick's been struggling to find his form this year, but Xander has been lighting it up. I mean, he's got 7 top 10s and 10 starts. This combo plays well here. They won back in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 in 22, T4 last year. They've gotten no worse than T11. What do we think from this week down in New Orleans?
Always a fun tournament to watch. Like you said, just the kind of different layout, just having it be a team event and having it alternate from being alternate shot best ball. That's always fun to watch because I don't know if y'all have ever played any just alternate shot events. It adds that extra element of like, hey, you really got to put your teammate in a good position here. So seeing how these guys' games kind of complement each other, always fun to see the pairings out there you wouldn't expect. But like one I'm excited for this week is Sahith Theegala and Will Zalatoris. 2 guys who have like, I feel like different style games, but are just so much golf knowledge, know how to get their way around the course. And a place like TPC Louisiana, if they kind of get in that groove, get in that rhythm early, then I feel like you'll see some fun pairings out there who may go low this week, just depending on weather conditions. You never know with Louisiana.
3 pairs of brothers in the fields with the Hoygaards in the field, Cooties,
Yep,
and then the Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick's.
Yeah.
I got to play. I caddied for Sam Fedone in a Corn Ferry Tour qualifier last year, and Alex Fitzpatrick was paired in our group with us. And it was actually like 2 weeks before he went and played in the Zurich Classic. And then the thing I love about this event is that it's not only is the format different in the lone team event, which is so much like fun to watch, but also both the guys who win get first place money, first place FedEx Cup points, and it can get them 2 years exempt on tour. So I mean, I remember the Fitzpatricks played well here last year, and it earned Alex some starts. But we got a lot of combos this week that are have a pro and then got a guy back on Corn Ferry that's been grinding his way the whole time. I know Robbie's got a guy that he wants to talk about here a little bit later on, but I mean, just such a cool format to where, like, you think of Theegala and Zalatoris. Theegala has the firepower this year to go win these things on his own. Like, he doesn't need the team aspect to go win a golf tournament. Zalatoris has the same firepower, but he's still been kind of struggling to get back after the injury last year. He's had some high finishes, but hasn't really contended for a win as much as we, I think, would expect him to after the start that he had. So, like, I feel like this event, you can gain so much confidence from the guys that have kind of paired up with these guys that are in really, really good form right now. Maybe they're not coming in with their best game, but that team format frees you up a little bit. It gives you some confidence moving into the major season. And it's a huge opportunity for some of these guys to come out and play this week.
Yeah, I like the field this week. There's a lot of rookies in this field too. Like, it's usually a lower tiered event, but with some readjustments, I feel like it's for some guys to come out and show face and have to play in it that haven't played in it in a while, or just been in the state of Louisiana in general. I don't. Rory doesn't really visit Louisiana too much. I don't think Louisiana cares for him to visit either. So.
Yeah,
good.
And to have the Rory Lowry partnership will be pretty fun to watch too.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
That should be some good banter coming from there. I do miss.
I can't imagine what those two get into in their off time in New Orleans.
Would love to see what a Tuesday round looks like with that pairing for sure.
You love to see the Irishmen just probably having a good week in New Orleans, and if their weekend's early, who knows? They may still keep that flight for Sunday, and you see them on Bourbon Street Saturday, Sunday, just having a good time.
Yeah, or they might try and duck it to like the Golden Nugget or LeBron just to keep it low key and just not say anything.
Let's keep it low key.
Go over to Harrah's real quick, just win a couple G's, make your trip worthwhile.
But, well, I mean, I think if you get the dub, being a team event, what a place to go celebrate. I don't think you'd have to go too far.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And kind of touching on what Frenchie said with a lot of rookies in the field this week and just a lot of younger guys, you mentioned some guys I want to talk about. Some guys I was looking at. I was actually looking at Golf WRX, just doing my little weekly browse for the tournament, seeing seeing what guys are in the tournament, seeing what their bags look like. And interesting guy I saw in there was James Nicholas. Plays on the DP World Tour right now. Big Instagram guy, has a really cool Instagram profile. He's a rookie on the DP World Tour, and he's playing with Brandon Wu out of Stanford. So that should be an interesting pairing because that's a guy who I know he was trying to get status on Korn Ferry Tour. I don't think he secured like full status, but he ended up securing status on DP World Tour. So if you have a guy like that, pairing like that, go out there. Kind of like you said with Fitzpatrick, just getting those points, those FedEx Cup points that could lead down the road to some guaranteed starts or even a win, getting you status on a tour. That would be fun to see. And then another Korn Ferry Tour guy out there that I was kind of surprised to see in there, but saw his bag and saw a little 1 and 2 iron that caught my eye was Aldrich Portgeider. He's the 19-year-old kid who he was like the youngest winner on the Korn Ferry earlier this season, and he's a bomber. He absolutely bombs the ball. So I think it's going to be fun to watch him playing that course, and just another guy rookie in the field who could submit himself some status if he finishes up there near the top.
Yeah, those who don't follow James Nicholas, like Robbie was talking about on Instagram, is a great follow, not only
Good
visually,
follow.
but if you need some things to work on with your game. He's got a whole line of stories of what he does when he's with his practice and during his practice time, and it's gold. I mean, the stuff that he's working on is what everybody should be doing if they want to improve their game. So go give him a follow on Instagram. The dude's a stick, and I would love for something like that for him. I mean, I've been following him for probably 4 or 5 years now, and all the work that he puts in and goes to Q school like every year, and still struggling to make it through because it's tough as hell. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be so cool to kind of for him to come out and if it's not a win, T15 get you into next week. So just kind of guys like that coming out, having an opportunity to come out and play well with a solidified partner that's maybe been playing well this season too, and get yourself moving in the right direction, get some starts, see what happens. Absolutely. One duo I'm looking at this week, we've been talking about both of these guys a lot this year. Kashmir Keith and Joel Damon on the same team.
Yeah.
I think Kashmir Keith's good vibes, country club vibes, going to rub off on Joel a little bit this week.
Country club.
And he'll have somebody else. He'll have somebody else to be in his head besides himself with the negativity. So hopefully bring some positive out of them, get them going this year. That would be a fun win, I think, to see Keith and Joel win together would be pretty neat.
I think that would be awesome. Him and you saw the full swing. Gino straightened him out a little bit. He got him back on the right track. They've been playing some good golf this year too.
They've played some solid golf.
I think seeing him and Keith, because Keith's one of those guys. He's played good golf, but the tournaments he's played well in, he seems to have that like first 54 holes go really well for him, and then just an imploding round on Sunday that kind of takes him out of it, leaves him no chance to get up near the top. Seeing those two guys, I think that would be that, especially being in New Orleans, city of New Orleans, have to be safe after that, because that would be just an electric celebration. You'd see some good content come out of that. So that was a group that was a group I was going to bring up too, solely for the fact of it being a team event. You're going to have a lot of mics on the course. I doubt guys mic'd up, but you'll have a lot of hot mics running. That's going to be a fun group to watch and some group pairings.
I mean, I think you're definitely going to see some guys mic'd up with all the. I mean, I feel like every single tournament we're watching somebody walk down the hole with the AirPods in, and jumping in on the broadcast during rounds. So I think, if they don't do it this week, they missed out on some gold, because I think this is an awesome week to do something like that. But will we see any team sellies? Think we got anything planned? Is it going to have any football team celebrations in there? Knocking over some bowling pins, cooking at the campfire. What do we got?
Yeah, Xander and Patrick. I think they're heavy favorites coming in. Probably Colin and Kurt.
Definitely.
I think Colin and Kurt play a lot out of the same club in Vegas with each other. I think that's a good pairing. They probably know each other's games very well. I think also, too, it's just a week that I think could shape up where there's just a bunch of people that you don't hear about, and they're just at the top of the leaderboard. So some strong pairings. But I think Patrick played really good last week, and Xander kind of just held it together and was all right. But they always torch this event. I think that's my favorite for this week.
It's hard. It's hard to say otherwise. I mean,
yeah, they just match.
Like we've talked about, Xander's kind of start through the season. Cantlay gets a good week going last week. If they can kind of get some things rolling, pair them together, I think they could go super low, especially in the best ball. I am liking the Hogard brothers a lot this week. I have liked Jesus. What's not Rasmus? Nikolai Hogard, right?
Yeah. Nikolai.
Yeah, Nikolai's his game. I've talked about him a ton this year too. His game's been really consistent throughout the whole season. And yeah, I mean, I love the Cootie twins playing. Obviously, big Dallas boys. The three sets of brothers. My money's going to be on the Hogard brothers to be the low brothers of the week.
I like that bet. I think it's fun when you get an event like this too. Like you said, three sets of brothers in the field. I think both the Hogard brothers, they probably got a little more cemented status. The Cooties both being on tour this year. So I think after seeing Fitzpatrick or both the Fitzpatrick brothers do well last year, I'm gonna ride with them this week because kind of riding off full swing too. You saw Alex talk about not kind of wanting to live in Matt's shadow and be that little brother of like, hey, like I'm just here because my brother, like I don't want people to look at me like that. You saw him go have a good finish in the Open last summer, so I'm looking at him to play some good golf and kind of want to see him show his teeth this week and show everybody he deserves to be there.
For sure.
What happened to where did Parker Cootie end up finishing last week? Because I remember looking at the leaderboard on one of the days and seeing him up there.
That's a good question. Let me see if I have this real quick.
I'm not saying that there's one name on the leaderboard that's blanked out, and I feel like that's him because I don't think he was anything. I mean, at one point I saw he was like T5 Saturday or something like that. But yeah, we'll see how they can do this week. I can almost guarantee you that Keegan's going to draft them in the draft tomorrow. If he doesn't, I'll be shocked.
I bet on that.
Yeah, I'd 100% bet on that. Who can get us some odds on that?
You got to get him to take the James Nicholas. You got to get him to take we just got to get him to ride with the Grayson stable this week. You got to get him. If he doesn't take the James Nicholas Brandon Wu pairing, I'm going to. Is Nicholas is a Grayson guy, and I just want to see those guys play well. Root for the underdogs this week. See who can get themselves some better status moving forward.
I love it. All right, let's jump into lock of the weeks. Robbie, you want to kick us off this week?
I know I kind of talked a little premonition of them maybe playing bad this week, but I'm gonna ride with the Irishman this week. I feel like Rory and Shane are just a good combo. Rory is just like one of the best golf swings on tour, if not the best golf swing on tour the past 10 years. And then Shane, one of those kind of just big, funny guys who's got a good game, big, personable guy who can really turn it on when he gets in those competitive situations. So I'm interested to see them and how their game pairs in alternate shot, like Rory bombing it off the tee or hitting some of those longer shots in, and Shane having some of those more finesse shots around the green. I think they're going to be a good pairing. I think they're like 7-1 odds, 8-1 odds this week. So I'm going to ride with the big Irishman, the little Northern Irishman this week.
Oh yeah, I'm going to take Colin and Kurt this week to top 10 or top 5 either or. I don't know. I haven't looked at odds on any of those yet, but I have them up there at the top of the leaderboard for sure. Other than that, I don't know. Even though I like the Xander Patrick combo, I would say I would take them outright to win if I was taking anything like that, and then I'd probably take Kurt and Colin to top 10 for my lock. I would say.
I like that. I am going to go with a little President's Cup preview this week. Both of these guys have been playing well to start the season. Corey Connors and Taylor Pendrith for a top 5. Both of them, I think the Canadians, we talked about this before, I believe it was before the Masters, right before it. The Canadians like to get going early, as we've kind of seen trends go in the past. And with the President's Cup year, what a time for them to kind of showcase what they can do as a team in the team format. And I would love to see them kind of get a top 5. Give us a little preview of what we're going to see here in the fall. Like should be a fun week. Can't wait to watch it.
If I didn't say it already, I don't know if I left it out there in that take. I'm riding with Rory and Shane top 5 on that. I'm not going to ride with them to win. I'm going to ride them top 5.
I like it. All right, y'all enjoy the week. Gentlemen, thank you for the show. Love you guys.